We had George Kittle on this show yesterday, and we had our fun with him. We always have our fun with him. We always have our fun with him. I basically said to him, the 49ers, there's no controversy.
No drama.
There's drama. You're drama free. Like, he signed, Fred Warner signed, right?
Yep.
They don't have. I guess Ayuk's going to come back. Brock Purdy signed. We got that. That's the biggest check mark. Yep. That nothing's going into training camp. John Lynch got all his business done pretty much, and what else there to talk about? We kind of had our fun with that. I'm like, you want to start creating controversy? Let's do it.
Yeah, I had so many tweets lined up. I didn't actually hit send. We maybe could have started some drama.
And then we discovered, is Brock Purdy worth it? And have you basically lost too many people, right?
Yeah, has the window closed?
Has the window closed?
Yeah.
Right? And his response was, if the window's closed, you can just throw a chair through it, which I think you appreciated. That was a kind of a wrestling thing to say.
Indeed.
John Lynch had this to say about the number of named players that the team let go, couldn't sign, didn't sign, hit it.
Even though we kind of warned our fans, I think that's a tough pill to swallow. Even if you hear it's happening, I think when it does happen and you see players, I think it spoke to how good our roster was. We had a lot of talent on it, and we had acquired a lot of talent and accrued a lot of talent. We had to get younger and we had to get a little cheaper because we had some plans on what we wanted to do with our core and obviously our quarterback. And so I think some twists and turns, but we executed a plan that we needed to, and was really excited with the way it all came together.
I have a list of the notable departures, as it has been called. You always want to be notable. You know what I mean? I think you guys are notable. I will note you.
Hey,
I will give you notes, but you're notable. All right?
Of course. Thank you.
Or they talk about the Rich Eisen Show, and you are the notables.
Right.
Okay, Rich and the notables. But here are the notable departures for the 49ers. You tell me which ones you'd have kept or they should have kept. Okay?
Ooh, okay.
Deebo Samuel.
I think they were probably it's gonna be wise that they let him go.
Would you agree with that assessment?
I would not agree with that.
Okay.
Well, as a Niner hater, I'm glad he's gone.
But listen, Rams fans had enough of him. He was kind of the Rafael Devers to the Rams Yankees.
I also might be basing this on one piece of video that came out last week.
You are basing it on the fact that he looks, to use the Dan Patrick phrase, big in the community. It looks like he needs to hit training camp.
A little bit, yeah, a little bit.
I don't know. We will see.
We'll see.
But he's expensive, and you got to, again, everything needs to be under through the prism of they are paying their guy now per game what they paid him in the entirety of his contract up to this year at quarterback. And Brock Purdy.
I think the emergence of Jennings and Pearsall, I think, is going to make up for losing Deebo.
Dre Greenlaw signed with the Broncos. Talanoa Hufanga with the Broncos as well. That guy I would have kept.
That's the one.
That's the one I
might have put my thumb on and tried to keep him in the building.
But you're paying. Don't worry. Don't forget. You paid Fred Warner. You paid Kittle. You paid Purdy. And you're drafting Travarius Ward with the Colts. He also might have wanted to change the scenery based on his personal.
True.
It has nothing to just what is, just his office might have reminded him of some of the most horrible memories of his life.
I think they did a good job.
No offense to the Niners at all.
I think the Niners did a good job. They had the most picks in the draft. They kind of replenished things through there. I think a lot of people are sleeping on them.
I would agree with that, and the fact that you're saying that, I am noting. I think that's a notable comment from you, since you are the king of this team that keeps hitting its head on the ceiling.
I've been critical of them, and I think it's been fair.
They also sent Jordan Mason away, but you know what? If McCaffrey is healthy and the rest of the roster can survive, not bad.
I think Jordan Mason might have been someone I would have tried to keep.
I mean, I'm just looking at the 49ers depth chart. they are younger in a ton of spots, man. And
McCaffrey's a question mark. I'm not sure he can be relied upon.
Don't forget, we picked up Isaac Guerrero in half of our fantasy leagues, and
that's true.
He performed well as well.
And he ended up getting injured as well.
It's the wide receiver spot that you got to sit here and wonder. That's if I had listen. The thing Kittle said yesterday was Robert Saleh returning is the undiscussed, under the radar acquisition that is something that everybody in 49ers country is thrilled about in their building. They love having him back, all gas, no brakes, love the guy.
Yep.
Him being the DC there is just huge for the 49ers. Obviously, he'd love to still be the HC of the NYJ, one would think, on his way back to maybe getting another gig somewhere. But so defensively, I'm just assuming the scheme, the coach, they will coach him up and they'll draft right. And that we will wonder if it takes a while, will they have the offense and the points on the board to win these games? And it's not Purdy that I'm concerned about. I look at the wide receiver room. What's Ayuk going to look like? Jawan Jennings, as we all know, is a supremely talented wide receiver. He's going to be the number one. Well, what will Ricky Pearsall look like in year 2? Fully healthy from jump. You look at the rest of that receiver room, and Demarcus Robinson is the only name that you would recognize, one would say. Jacob Cowing, Jordan Watkins, Russell Gage is another name that you might recall. He wound up, wasn't he the receiver that got hurt in Tampa? That's the one. Who's going to step up? Who is going to step up and be the points maker at that position? And then offensive line, Trent Williams got to stay healthy.
No doubt about that.
But the 49ers have a ton of top-name players still around there from their championship years and coached up properly with Purdy doing the right thing and everyone staying healthy. There's a lot of ifs I just gave you, but the Niners absolutely are being slept on right now. I'd agree with that. Look at us, lockstep.
Look at us, lockstep on the Niners.
Okay. Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.